Hey, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Ecosystem Office Hours call. I am your host, Jinx, and we are joined, as always, by the best and brightest in the Pocket ecosystem. A lot of stuff to cover this morning, but let's start with protocol updates with Fred.
Good morning, good day, good evening to everyone. Thanks, Jinx. Can you hear me okay on my new setup? Is the audio coming through?
Yeah, you can. You sound a little more muffled than normal, but you're good.
Okay, we'll keep going then. I'll continue to tweak with it. All right. We have just a few top priorities this week. We continue to work down the issues with session rollover. We're also looking into some relay miner stability issues and ensuring that the relay miner is robust as possible. Session rollover and the relay miner issues are the number one reason why we have certain chains, including XRPL EVM, currently offer or certain services operating off chain. Once this is resolved and the success rates climb back into the acceptable range, which would be above 99%, we will move some of our off-chain traffic back on-chain. In addition, one of the number one issues that we're chasing after with the protocol right now is the chain bloat, or the data size growing very rapidly. So this is something that the team is looking at. That's pretty much everything on the protocol end. For the path side of the house, we have two main things. We're going to move our fallback mechanisms that allow us to operate off-chain into path. Currently, they're configured at our infrastructure layer, and this kind of takes away a lot of the good pieces of the gateway. And we also know that many gateway operators in the future will likely have their own nodes and will likely want to be able to use them as a fallback mechanism or as a backup mechanism to the network. And we're also in the process of implementing multi-endpoint services. So two good examples of this are our own chain, the new POKT, and XRPL EVM. These are chains that expose multiple APIs, including Comet BFT or the Cosmos API. XRPL EVM, I think, is a great example as it exposes JSON RPC EVM API. It exposes the Comet BFT API and the Cosmos SDK API. So once we have this kind of sorted, this will allow for better service robustness in the future and kind of accomplish two things. One, expose all the functionality that a service has to offer, and two, decrease the number of services listed on chain, making service discoverability much, much easier in the future. I think that's pretty much it. We're also in the midst of kind of our last big push for cleanup at Grove to move from the legacy PNI code base over to just Grove's own open source code base. We also open sourced our front end last week, so you can take Path. You could theoretically plug it into our front end and have a tool that's very similar to our own portal very quickly. And yeah, that's really where our focus is increasing stability and then getting closer and closer to new feature work.
Hell yeah. Nice news about open sourcing the front end as well. I think that will help fast track some other folks in getting up and running. I do have one question, kind of an oddball sidechain question, but I was asked a few times in the last couple of days. Is the team planning on using Fern to publish Swagger type API libraries?
At this time, I don't believe we have any plans to use Fern directly. However, Cosmos has its own native mechanisms for publishing open API. And then our longer term goal is to, as part of the service definition on chain, include the API definitions.
Beautiful. I know that that's something that we've talked about on the main Pocket website for a while, is having actual, interactive API documents that allow for test transactions that I assume would be, pointed at the public API endpoints. So whatever y'all are doing, we would certainly like to add and or collaborate on that effort. Excellent. So I think that's all for y'all. I will use that as a transition point to talk about validators for a second. Tracy can't be on the call today. She is driving through an area with no service. But she was checking in with everyone, I believe, last night to make sure that the F-Chains folks are ready for their validator side stakes. And I know a lot of y'all have now reported that you are. That's something that we do plan on moving to in short order now that the update cadence has dropped to one a week or every other week, as the case may be. I do want to reiterate here that if you are bringing a validator online, you are expected to be on top of running these updates. We still have a lot of changes and improvements that are being pushed. And if you are not keeping up with the cadence of making sure that your validator is kept up to date, we will deal with that as appropriately. Okay, what else did we have here? I'm trying to make sure that I covered everything. We do have the Q2 transparency report published out in the forum today. It covers quite a bit of activity that occurred during the migration and transition process, including the migration of the DAO Treasury, the PNF Treasury, the WPocket Vault, and any and all transactions that occurred during that time. I know normally there's broad visibility day to day into that. So we have provided an update that covers all transactions that occurred during that time and made sure that all of the new and final wallet addresses have been published there. We know how much some of y'all accounting buffs love to run through and check transactions regularly, so you will find the updated addresses are published in there. What's more, we are now finally, for the first time in Pocket's history, on a proper multi-sig for the DAO Treasury. Previously, it was simply controlled through an ACL, but we now have an actual proper multi-sig setup since that's supported in Cosmos and provided through our Kepler integration. We've also talked about some of the bigger expenses that we incurred along the way throughout the migration process, including the cost of the Kepler integration itself, which isn't cheap, but fortunately we have a Bulldog comptroller who beat them down a little bit on total price. And of course, they wanted to be paid all up front, like most vendors do. And Kansu is not about that life, so she broke it up into structured payments, of course. So anyone who is interested in following along on the accounting, you'll find much to dig into there. Also, since Kansu has completed transitioning everything from the mishmash of accounting that was present previously into an actual common sense approach of GAAP in QuickBooks, there are now actual P&Ls that are going to be published quarterly that show an actual net profit and loss for the foundation during each quarterly time period. One thing to keep in mind about those is that because they are all reported in USD, certain things like fixed pocket payments will show variance according to price movement in the marketplace. So some things which show as a loss currently are really only a loss because the value of the fixed token payment 5x'd and that threw the final USD math off. But all things considered, we don't mind if the token price keeps 5xing and the numbers keep looking not great while our wallets look better. And let's see, did I have anything else? Oh, something else always comes to me. Please increase those losses, Ramiro says. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, at the end of the day, we are looking to accomplish two things. A, to make sure that we have a strong, healthy token economy. And that's something that everyone here knows that we have done some heavy and hard work for and made the hard decisions for over the last couple of months. And B, also for the foundation to be self-supporting. So those losses are not actually really operational losses when we look at the net holdings of the organization and all of that spelled out there. So we are actually at probably the highest runway for the foundation that we've been at in 2 years, thanks to the big KRW pop in volume beginning on May 30th. So we're actually in a stronger place financially than I think the organization has been in at least 2 years. And much of that big thanks to Kansu for countless hours of tedious accounting work that I would not have been in any way equipped to do myself. Okay, well, that was a lot of information right up front, so let's stop there for a second. Anyone have questions on any of that? And also, Kansu's on the call, so if you have any detailed questions, please feel free to ask her directly. All right, I guess not. Okay. Oh, one other note on the validator setup. As some of y'all have noted, we have a ticket open in the repo currently for a change in where validator rewards are calculated. Previously, they were being calculated off of the global inflation value, which is currently essentially at zero. It's one U pocket or millionth of a pocket. That is being moved to the mint and burn TLM, which is where it will correctly assess percentages. And that's the same for the DAO and the data owner percentage as well. All of that calculation needs to be done in the same place. So anyone who's been tracking validator earnings over the last couple of weeks, a few of you have reached out to ask me about that and said that it would be impossible to actually cover the cost of running a validator. Yes, at roughly a 10% of a millionth of a pocket in emission, yes, that would be impossible. But there is an open issue for that. It is being fixed. So that will be handled in short order. Oh, and I do want to say, because I'm seeing Merdad, and that's a reminder that we have started the discussions around how we can use the Cosmos governance tools within our ecosystem, and to replace the current broken system that we have. Merdad is a governance buff and is currently doing research on other Cosmos projects now to get a sense of how they're addressing some of the same issues and covering some of the same considerations. So we are hoping that in the not too distant future, we'll be able to come together and bring a plan out to present to the DAO and the ecosystem at large on how we can migrate to more modern governance tooling within the ecosystem. And of course, we still care about a lot of the same things. We're not going to go to a pure, pay-to-play system or something along that line. We know that there are toolings and options to help make sure that builders are well represented in the ecosystem. So all of these things will be covered as part of that research. Okay, I think that's my hot list for now. So I'll open it up. Chat, what's on your mind? I see Nemo's typing. Everything is clear. Thanks. Good. Solid. Crypto says I have a few quick updates. Bring it. We've been waiting to hear from you for sure.
Hey, what's up, guys? So we're having fun out in the DD camp. Currently heading out to Berlin in less than a week to do a bit more BD at the Web3 Summit. I'm going to be hacking in that hackathon as well, and also I'm going to be on stage for a panel on developer communities with a few amazing folks. On the engineering side, we have completed CI/CD. There's a few tweaks that to make sure that we're running all of our automated tests, make sure everything's connected correctly, all that good stuff. So happy that's mostly behind us. And the last thing too as well is I updated the Pocket SDK to be compliant with the 1.26 release of POKT and all those proto updates. Though the one caveat I will mention is that we are using the V1 of the buff workspace because V2 is not working with my build script, but I did directly just rip the protos from the repository. So that's up to date and working correctly.
Beautiful. And I saw in a chat recently that you'd mentioned that y'all were looking for pilot users for the service. Can you outline like what kind of users would be ideal for pilot users?
Yeah, so primarily we're looking for high volume users in general. Well, we all are, right? Everyone's looking for a high volume user. But yeah, we want to subject our infrastructure to a bit of pain and suffering so we can harvest all that beautiful, beautiful telemetry data to improve the service.
Excellent. So basically just high relay users, any specific data types or chains or anything along that line?
Specific chains, as long as honestly keep the transactions coming, we're pretty happy.
Beautiful. Well,
even
feel free
even if
to
our even if our free plan gets abused a little bit in the beginning, that's honestly not the end of the world because it still gets us that wonderful telemetry data. But we are looking to ink deals so that we can also begin setting up our infrastructure in data centers.
beautiful. Well, feel free to publish your links out in the Discord channels, of course, and obviously, if anybody is looking to experiment or play around, you are welcome to beat on their free tier.
Beautiful. And we also got a little bit of work done this week on our serverless runtime, which is going to be really excited. Can't wait to show you guys some demos of that.
Excellent. Other questions and updates? As a side note, I'll add that Kansu has bravely waded into our DGen channel. So if you are in the den and you have questions in regards to our financial reporting or anything along that line, you are welcome to tag her directly, but be kind. Seems like we're all in a pretty good place so far. I'm not seeing a lot of new questions coming into chat or anything else. I don't mind it being a short day, but this time is y'all's, so I'll make sure it's open for you. Oh, PGAT update, please. Sure. So DevDAO, of course, is our. Do you mind if I call you our flagship PGAT program? I feel like you might be.
Yeah,
Um,
go for it. Go for it.
they are in progress now. I've been working with the Vistia team, who is has been trying to launch, but has been having some issues with tuning their LLM model and getting it to work correctly in the server environment. It was just responding in every channel and listening to everything all the time and not having good answers frequently. So we've been working on some iterations to tune that down to make sure that it's useful. I do see that Merdad is responding in chat too, so you can give us a pattern update. We're working on Shannon APIs and Pocket Scan APIs to integrate it behind our Explorer Copilot. Okay, solid. Any kind of a timeline on that? You'll soon get a new way to explore Pocket. Well, that sounds exciting. And I know that some of the teams, of course, Kansu has been keeping up with as she's administered the payment side of the program. He says we're struggling with the APIs a bit, but we'll get back with an update ASAP. Solid, good to hear. Some startup teams find out that things take longer than they expected when they are rolling out a new product. So a few of them aren't quite across the finish line yet. Do you have any additional relevant updates on that, Kansu, or are we just in a holding pattern while waiting for some of them to get done?
Exactly. Sorry. But we'll give you
The
guys.
startup life. Okay. Well, good question, Breezy, and we will continue pushing out updates as we get them. Other questions? See, crypto's still typing. Oh, we always welcome direct inquiries outside of any weekly updates we give. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the PGAT channel is under the community heading in the in our Discord, and I believe. Oh, actually, no. The permissions are still set to only allow PGAT chat in there. So maybe we'll just go ahead and open that up and not have it restricted by role anymore. But you are absolutely welcome to tag PGA teams either in the community chat channel or no chat channel or anywhere else that you do have access currently and ask for updates directly. We certainly want to encourage all of them to get across the line and get their products launched. And by encourage, I mean hassle. All right. Well, doesn't look like we have any other questions so far in chat or anyone speaking out or coming off mute. So, as always, we are always available across all the channels that you normally reach out to us in. And we will see y'all again next week. Same time, same channel.